Welcome to the Genghis Show, a unique, informative, and funny show about animals. Hi everyone, Genghis here. We have a really interesting show for you today. Our resident veterinarian, Dr. Richard Callan, will answer 4 often asked questions by pet parents. And Bonnie Sainsbury is going to talk about how pet camps are all the rage.
Yeah, and Hayden's going to meet up with CJ, who had a bad start in life right from the day he was born.
But first, we have an update from one of our earlier stories. Remember Mouse and Monroe? Well, those 2 super cute kitties have been adopted into a great home. Good news. And now let's go to the interview Carrie did with Dr. Richard Callan.
Hi everyone, we're here with Dr. Richard Callan, and we've got some questions from our viewers today. And our first question is, my cat is scratching her ears more than normal. Should I be concerned?
I think for sure being concerned. If we were scratching our ears, we'd be concerned, so they deserve to be looked at, yeah.
Sure, and what is that usually an indication of, Richard?
There are many potential causes, but most common are the mites, and there's a couple of mites, and there's reactions to food, and there's inflammation of the eardrum, and so that's why it should be looked at.
And it's a fairly common problem with cats?
When they're young particularly, but ear problems in general in cats should be rare. And when they have a problem with their ear, there's a problem.
Now, is this something that can be easily treated?
Usually it's just making an accurate diagnosis and then either using drops of some kind or changing the diet.
Okay. Now, our next question is, how often should a cat or dog's teeth be cleaned?
Well, if I had my way, never. But I think it depends on the condition of the mouth, it depends on the breed, it depends on so many variables, but a great many mouth problems are a result of the foods that they're fed. And I'm referring to commercial foods, processed foods, contribute greatly to the poor quality of health in their mouths. The health of the mouth can be helped tremendously by feeding them appropriate food, and we call it biologically appropriate diets, which is usually means the raw food, which is controversial in many circles. But in my experience, raw food and bones keeps most dogs in very good order.
Okay. Now that's just mostly with dogs though, right?
No, cats too. They can eat chicken wings and things like that. Yeah.
Interesting. That I never knew.
So if they have a problem in their mouth, cleaning is important. If they don't have a problem, and if it's very minor, they certainly don't need a cleaning.
And should they just go online and do some research, or how can they get more information?
There's lots of information on holistic sites, on sort of natural care, natural diets, and I think it does require people becoming self-educated.
Now, here's one that I've heard many times before. Giving my dog her meds is a real hassle. Is there a safe and effective way to do this?
There's lots of easier ways of doing it than trying to push it down their throat. The easiest form is to put it in their food and something they really like, or it can be put into things we call pill pockets, or any other piece of food. For a dog, for instance, a wiener works really well to push a pill into the center of the wiener, and they just swallow it down generally.
Now, can they get some of these pill pockets from a local pet food store or vendor?
Widely available.
Now, here's our last question. I've been told that giving your kitten a saucer of milk every once in a while is a good thing. Now, is that true?
Can be. If it causes digestive upsets, then maybe it's not for them. I generally, rather than milk, if they were to give cream, cremo, or whipping cream,
and why is that,
yogurt.
Richard?
The cat requires fat, good quality fat, to run its metabolic machinery.
So are there any other milk products other than cream that you can feed your cat?
Oh sure, many like yogurt, especially the kind that's not too tangy. The Greek yogurts are creamy, and kefir is another product which is beneficial because of the bacteria, the beneficial bacteria. The lactose, just as in people, can cause diarrhea or digestive upsets, in other words. So those ones that do demonstrate those kinds of symptoms, then I probably wouldn't feed it.
Wow, that's interesting, Richard. I never knew that. Thanks again for watching, and that's all the questions from our viewers.
The Genghis Show.
And now let's go meet up with Hayden over at the SPCA, where he's with Kim Monteith. Hey Hayden, what's up today?
Hi there, I'm Hayden Clues, and we're at the Vancouver branch of the SPCA here, and we're talking with Kim, and I got CJ in my lap right here, and he's eating some of his hypoallergenic kibble, you're saying is what it is? Or, I'm trying to catch on slowly here, but so what's the story with CJ?
CJ, Charles James, he came in through a cruelty call. So he didn't have a good start to life. I don't know if you can tell from here, but his head, he has a tilt to it. So he was living not in great conditions. Maybe his treatment handling wasn't that great.
Oh,
So he came into us, and I want you to kind of think of like, you can see him, you can see he's on special food because he has food allergies. So imagine living in a home where you're not being treated well, you're not feeling well because you're not on a good diet.
And obviously not being fed well too, of course.
Not being fed well,
exactly.
and really just, trying to survive.
Exactly.
So we're lucky that he came in, he was rescued,
course,
brought
of
into
course.
us, and now he's, trying to find a new home. He's 2.5.
Okay, yeah. It's still at a good young
Yeah,
age too,
yeah.
and he's still, like you say, the whole animal cruelty thing with him here, it shocks me because doesn't even show at all. He's full of spunk and energy. He's so kind. He's very friendly. It's very sad to think about something like that with this poor guy.
They live in the moment, really, and depend on us for pretty much everything.
Exactly, yep.
And he deserves a second chance, and that's why it's so great when people like you're here and people coming in to adopt, because these dogs and cats, they need a second chance.
Of course they do.
They need to live a good life and have a good long life. And
Of course.
that's why we're here, right? To give them that second chance, because no one deserves to live in horrible conditions. And
Well, especially not such beautiful creatures like these guys here, for goodness sakes. That's just not fair. Well, thank you very much, Kim, and thanks for all the treats here. I'm sure CJ's not exactly complaining about that right now, as I'm sure we can imagine. My name's Hayden Clues, and we've been talking here with Kim at the Vancouver SPCA.
So Genghis, what'd you think about that?
That's pretty cool stuff. Whatever critter you pick out down there, you definitely want to make sure it's the right one.
And now we're going to go visit with Bonnie Sainsbury, who's going to tell us all about what's going on with pets and social media.
Genghis and I are hanging out at the Olympic Village dog park today. And starting to be July, everybody's going on vacation. And did you know that your dog can go to summer camp? Yes, I mean summer camp. I had friends who had a lab, and when they went on vacation, their dog went on summer camp. So for a week, when they were away, he went hiking off leash every day. He was swimming in the lake. He made all sorts of new buddies, and he was very, very friendly. And he was a mess and dirty when I got home, but he was also tired. And since then, summer camps have become more and more popular. So if your dog is socialized, used to other dogs of all sizes, I'd like you to consider a summer camp. They start at about $25 a day, about $300 a week, and it's an opportunity for your dog to enjoy themselves for a week while you're off on your vacation. So I'll put a link to some summer camps all over North America. And we'd like to hear your dog's story about summer camp. Where did they go? How, what kind of fun are they having? So let's talk about dog summer camp.
The Genghis Show.
So, what's next, Pops?
Don't forget, we want you to be part of the show as well. So please send us in your cute pictures and your funny videos to thegengisshow.com. And now for Pet Moments.